Hello, artists, and Happy New Year. It's week 18. Want to go over this week's assignments with you, but I also want to just go over some things that we might have forgotten about. First of all, it's quarter two, and we have this month left of quarter two. So at the end of the month, we have the end of our quarter, which is also the end of our semester, which means we're halfway through the school year, which is exciting. But it also means it's a really great time to catch up on our missing assignments and get our grades to where we want them to be, whether that means resubmitting some things or turning in some missing work. So let's review something else about our page. Remember, you can email me for questions. You can also call or text my Apple phone number, which will go to my iPad, so during the workday I can get back to you if you want. Know that Google Meets is RMS King in the afternoon if you want to meet anytime between, usually I'm done after anywhere between noon and 2:30 or 1:30 depending on the day. If you want to email or text and set something up, I can be on anytime during those hours. Another thing, if you're looking at folders and missing work, remember that we always go by the date of the week that it falls on. So any missing assignments, if you're looking at your grade overview and it says December 14th through 18th in parentheses, that means that assignment is found in that folder. Another way to decide or to see what is in which folder would be where it says like the blurb underneath it, Happy New Year, like week 18. It also says like what you're doing that week, shape and color theory refreshers, what you're doing this week. If you look at older weeks, it might say something like silhouette self-portrait, introduction, or final and artist statement, things like that. So that can help you find things as well. But as always, I'm here for questions. That's my job, so please do not hesitate to ask. Moving on to January 4th through 8th, which is what we're doing this week. There's an introduction video, which is me. You're already watching that. That's in here in the top page. You'll also see slides. So whether or not you have taken this class before at Ramsey or if you've taken art at a different school, maybe you're elementary, you probably have a pretty good idea of what shapes are and what colors are. They're probably words you've been using to describe art. Know that when I'm talking about color groups, we're referring to the arrangement of the color wheel. This is just a refresher. A lot of you already know this, but we have primary colors. They're the first colors. You can't mix them. We have secondary. They're made for mixing the primary, and they come second. So primary is first, secondary second. And then we have intermediate, which are the ones in between. So I always tell students intermediate, we have that first part of our word is in. So think of like in between, intermediate. And those are ones called like yellow orange or orange red. You might see them on crayons. And then we have analogous color schemes, which are going to be what we're focusing on for our next project. So these are colors aside from each other on the color wheel. You might also hear these called warm or cool colors, depending on the half that we're talking about. Usually, if we're doing red through yellow, that's a warm color. Green through purple is a cool color. But analogous could also be just any three next to each other or more. We also have other color groups which we're not going to be focusing on, but it's good to know. We have complementary. Those are across from each other on the wheel. Those are like usually used in sports. They make each other pop. We have neutral colors. Those are things that aren't found on color wheels. We have warm, cool, triadic, and monochromatic. So monochromatic is just, that means one color. Mono is one, chrome is color, so monochromatic. And then we have triadic, which are like the three evenly split on the color wheel. And then, like I said, warm and cool colors are also words we hear. For shapes, what I want you to know about shapes is we have different ways we could describe shapes. Remember, shapes are flat, they're two-dimensional, but we have two shape groups. We have geometric shapes. These are familiar for most of you because you've seen these in math or geometry. You might recognize geometric from geometry. We also have organic shapes, and these are usually found in nature or made-up shapes. Here's some examples of kind of what we're going to be doing with shapes. So we're going to pick a color scheme, and then we're going to pick kind of a couple different shapes. Maybe you want to focus on one, maybe you want to focus on a few different ones, and we're going to create a work of art using space and color with our shapes. So I'm going to talk more about that, but just a little preview of what you're going to be working towards. So the first thing I want you to do this week is just set a goal for support. We have the end of the quarter coming up. I want to make sure that you have a goal and that I'm able to support that goal. I have some example of sentence starters below for you. But basically, I want to know what is your goal for the end of the quarter and how can I support you. So you can go ahead and write your comment in. Some starters examples you could talk about are like one thing you want to improve, one thing you want to continue doing because maybe you're already doing really well, maybe something you want to learn, or something you need more help with. So go ahead and type that in so that I know your goals. You'll get a point for that. And then your main thing for this week is actually a shape activity, which is in the form of an assessment. However, it's not an assessment. But when you click on the preview, let's preview it. It's 5 points, and I'm going to change this so you have more than one attempt if you get any wrong. So I want you to keep, if you get it wrong, just take it again until you get 5 out of 5. So start new attempt, let's look. So you're going to highlight the geometric shapes. So if I know that geometric shapes are shapes commonly found in math, I'm going to click on what I think is a geometric shape, and I would just keep going. And then once you have that done, you're going to go review, and then once you review it, make sure you scroll down and you click the finish button. So this basically just automatically corrects. So if you clicked all the correct shapes, it'll let you know. If you didn't, retake it until you have it correct. So that's just a little bit for the week. I'm going to add more examples and criteria to our folder if you want to start working ahead on our project. We will have a planning guide. I can put that in here as well for you to look at and start thinking about for next week. But in the meantime, if you have extra time this week, please do some missing work or resubmit anything you feel like you need more points on. Have a great week.